Perhaps you never before noticed him? What a question, so truly French. Do you not know that we Italians have eyes only for the man we love? True, replied Franz. All I can say is, continued the Countess, taking up the lorgnette, and directing it toward the box in question, that the gentleman, whose history I am unable to furnish, seems to me as though he had just been dug up. He looks more like a corpse permitted by some friendly gravedigger to quit his tomb for a while, and revisit this earth of ours, than anything human. How ghastly pale he is. Oh, he is always as colorless as you now see him, said Franz. Then you know him? Almost screamed the Countess. Oh, pray do, for heaven's sake, tell us all about, is he a vampire, or a resuscitated corpse, or what? I fancy I have seen him before, and I even think he recognizes me. And I can well understand, said the Countess, shrugging up her beautiful shoulders, as though an involuntary shudder passed through her veins, that those who have once seen that man will never be likely to forget him. The sensation experienced by Franz was evidently not peculiar to himself. Another, and wholly uninterested person, felt the same unaccountable awe and misgiving. Well? Inquired Franz, after the Countess had a second time directed her lorgnette at the box. What do you think of our opposite neighbor? Why, that he is no other than Lord Riven himself in a living form. This fresh allusion to Byron drew a smile to Franz's countenance, although he could but allow that if anything was likely to induce belief in the existence of vampires, it would be the presence of such a man as the mysterious personage before him. I must positively find out who and what he is, said Franz, rising from his seat. No, no, cried the Countess, you must not leave me. I depend upon you to escort me home. Oh, indeed, I cannot permit you to go. Scott, of course, the son of an ill-fated sire, and the father of a yet more unfortunate family, bore in his looks that cast of inauspicious melancholy by which the physiognomists of that time pretended to distinguish those who were predestined to a violent and unhappy death. The Abbot, ch. 22. Is it possible, whispered Franz, that you entertain any fear? I'll tell you, answered the Countess. Byron had the most perfect belief in the existence of vampires, and even assured me that he had seen them. The description he gave me perfectly corresponds with the features and character of the man before us. Oh, he is the exact personification of what I have been led to expect. The coal-black hair, large bright, glittering eyes, in which a wild, unearthly fire seems burning, the same ghastly paleness. Then observe, too, that the woman with him is altogether unlike all others of her sex. She is a foreigner, a stranger. Nobody knows who she is, or where she comes from. No doubt she belongs to the same horrible race he does, and is, like himself, a dealer in magical arts. I entreat of you not to go near him, at least tonight, and if tomorrow your curiosity still continues as great, pursue your researches if you will, but tonight you neither can nor shall. For that purpose I mean to keep you all to myself. Franz protested he could not defer his pursuit till the following day, for many reasons. Listen to me, said the Countess, and do not be so very headstrong. I am going home. I have a party at my house tonight, and therefore cannot possibly remain till the end of the opera. Now, I cannot for one instant believe you so devoid of gallantry as to refuse a lady or escort when she even condescends to ask you for it. There was nothing else left for Franz to do but to take up his hat, open the door of the box, and offer the Countess his arm. It was quite evident, by her manner, that her uneasiness was not feigned, and Franz himself could not resist a feeling of superstitious dread, so much the stronger in him, as it arose from a variety of corroborative recollections, while the terror of the Countess sprang from an instinctive belief, originally created in her mind by the wild tales she had listened to till she believed them truths. Franz could even feel her arm tremble as he assisted her into the carriage. Upon arriving at her hotel, Franz perceived that she had deceived him when she spoke of expecting company. On the contrary, her own return before the appointed hour seemed greatly to astonish the servants. Excuse my little subterfuge, said the Countess, in reply to her companion's half-reproachful observation on the subject, but that horrid man had made me feel quite uncomfortable, and I longed to be alone, that I might compose my startled mind. Franz essayed to smile. Nay, said she, do not smile, it ill accords with the expression of your countenance, and I am sure it does not spring from your heart. However, promise me one thing. What is it? Promise me, I say. I will do anything you desire, except relinquish my determination of finding out who this man is. I have more reasons than you can imagine for desiring to know who he is, from whence he came, and whither he is going. Where he comes from I am ignorant, but I can readily tell you where he is going to, and that is down below, without the least doubt. Let us only speak of the promise you wished me to make, said Franz. Well, then, you must give me your word to return immediately to your hotel, and make no attempt to follow this man tonight. There are certain affinities between the persons we quit and those we meet afterwards. For heaven's sake, do not serve as a conductor between that man and me. Pursue your chase after him tomorrow as eagerly as you please, but never bring him near me, if you would not see me die of terror. And now, good night, go to your rooms, and try to sleep away all recollections of this evening. For my own part, I am quite sure I shall not be able to close my eyes. So saying, the Countess quitted Franz, leaving him unable to decide whether she were merely amusing herself at his expense, or whether her fears and agitations were genuine. Upon his return to the hotel, Franz found Albert in his dressing gown and slippers, listlessly extended on a sofa, smoking a cigar. My dear fellow, cried he, springing up, is it really you? Why, I did not expect to see you before tomorrow. My dear Albert, replied Franz, I am glad of this opportunity to tell you, once and forever, that you entertain a most erroneous notion concerning Italian women. I should have thought the continual failures you have met with in all your own love affairs might have taught you better by this time. Upon my soul, these women would puzzle the very devil to read them aright. Why, here, they give you their hand, they press yours in return, they keep up a whispering conversation, permit you to accompany them home. Why, if a Parisian were to indulge in a quarter of these marks of flattering attention, her reputation would be gone forever. And the very reason why the women of this fine country put so little restraint on their words and actions, is because they live so much in public, and have really nothing to conceal. Besides, you must have perceived that the Countess was really alarmed. At what? At the sight of that respectable gentleman sitting opposite to us in the same box with the lovely Greek girl? Now, for my part, I met them in the lobby after the conclusion of the piece, and hang me, if I can guess where you took your notions of the other world from. I can assure you that this hobgoblin of yours is a deuced fine-looking fellow, admirably dressed. Indeed, I feel quite sure, from the cut of his clothes, they are made by a first-rate Paris tailor, probably Blin or Humanin. He was rather too pale, certainly, but then, you know, paleness is always looked upon as a strong proof of aristocratic descent and distinguished breeding. Franz smiled, for he well remembered that Albert particularly prided himself on the entire absence of color in his own complexion. Well, that tends to confirm my own ideas, said Franz, that the Countess's suspicions were destitute alike of sense and reason. Did he speak in your hearing? And did you catch any of his words? I did, but they were uttered in the Romaic dialect. I knew that from the mixture of Greek words. I don't know whether I ever told you that when I was at college I was rather strong in Greek. He spoke the Romaic language, did he?